Hi there, I'm Rob Sattler, Chief Engagement Officer at Study Work Grow. Now, the presentation I'm doing today is a best practice for using the Ponder program in schools. And I'm going to be discussing some feedback and some case studies that we've done with current Ponder member schools because the program got launched at the start of the year. So now we've got some feedback for you. And also going through tips and suggestions for using it within your school. So before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which I come from today. We're based up here in Cairns, and two of our main tribes here are the Gimoy and Irriganji tribes, but there are a number of tribes who call this region home, and I pay my respects to them, to the elders, past, present, and emerging. Now let's dive into the program. I'll give you a run through. All right, so key points. I want to make this program nice and light, this presentation nice and light. This was recorded yesterday afternoon with 30 of our current teachers, both in the Ponder program and also new teachers who are keen to check it out. But we've already recorded it just for privacy reasons. Key points I'd like to cover is, firstly, conversations. The Ponder program was launched originally to give career educators a structured way to learn career education at school. And one of the biggest things they've mentioned in feedback is how easy it is to start conversations with students based on the videos and the content that we provided, but also how easy it is for the students then to be prompted to have more conversations about their future, their life, where they're at, and where they're heading. So that's been wonderful and totally unexpected for us. Second bit of feedback I'd like to give is start small. So educators have told us that what they've done is they've started the Pond program and they've just started doing their own individual lessons, and then they've expanded from there, which brings me to my third point, getting your teachers involved. So when we designed the program, it was originally for Ponder educators to be able to, career educators in school, to be able to deliver the Ponder program. But since then, we've since found out that in some schools, they're doing the lessons in home group or form group. They're doing lessons in PDHPE lessons, in pastoral care lessons, in wellbeing lessons. And what they've done is they've got their other educators on their team to be able to deliver small 5 to 10 minute lessons in times that would otherwise be downtime at school, like form group lessons or home group lessons, for instance. And that's been really, really helpful. So, but I'll dive into that in the case study in just a second. So let's take our next step here. All right. I'll just quickly go back. Sorry. Okay. Let's skip a few steps here. Okay, so quick overview. Ponder is designed across 4 different modules. Now, when we launched the program, it was based on terms, so term 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've since renamed them Module 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's because even though it's designed as a program to deliver over 40 weeks, it doesn't necessarily have to be delivered week by week, term by term. So by renaming the modules, educators feel more comfortable and be able to deliver content from Module 1 and Module 2, which was released earlier in the year. A bit of feedback for you, or some basis of the structure here. The first 2 terms are about understanding the students themselves. So self and context and understanding themselves. Term 3 and term 4 are the external, so exploring the world of work and connecting to the world of work. But let's have a quick look at how that works in a second. All right, Ponder in real schools, here's some examples. All right, first example I've got for you here is vertical home groups. One of the schools have been using Ponder for quite a number of months. I did a case study with this educator late last term 3 in 2022, and she said they've got vertical home groups at school. And what she's found is by doing the Ponder videos, which are 1 to 2 minutes, by the form group teacher, home group teacher on, say, Friday morning in class, with a vertical home group, she's found that the older students are helping the younger students to understand the concepts and also give them a bit more perspective and background on what they felt in going through those experiences or thinking about the particular content that's being discussed in class. So that's been really fantastic. Now, again, when we launched the Ponder program at the start of the year, the original intent was for career education lessons, but a lot of schools don't actually have set career education lessons in the curriculum, and especially not across all year levels. So Ponder is morphed into this program where schools, again, are using it right across all different facets of school in times where they're looking for something valuable to talk about to add to what's happening in that time, or also just to be able to deliver more career education at school that wasn't normally accounted for. Now, by doing 5 to 10 minutes per week across a whole year, we're talking about 6 hours of extra career education that students wouldn't previously have been getting. So the outcome from that alone is just fantastic. And again, like I said in our first key points, powerful conversations are one of the biggest things that come out of that. All right, case study 2. A school I spoke with, they were just doing career education lessons with Year 9s. And the educator told me that by having the Ponder program materials there and the full structure there, she found it really, really easy just to be able to pull from the structure and then use our resource document, which I'll show you in a minute, to get to know how to discuss the module content for the week with a particular cohort, in this case, a Year 9 cohort. So she found that really, really helpful because she didn't have to prepare those materials herself or work out what the structure would be. She could just pull the video and the PDFs from that particular week, look at the resource document to know how to deliver it, and voila, she could deliver a career education lesson. Now, as I've mentioned here, the program is fully adjustable. So even though it's a 40-week program, it's all there. Be flexible, be creative about how you want to deliver it, okay? If you've got a particular cohort or a particular need at school, and you know your students better than we do, pick and choose from the program. Bunch lessons together. So completely up to you and completely flexible. The main thing is we're empowering you to be able to deliver career education in the way that you want. And again, use the framework, but you can also localize it. So this educator said that what they've been doing with the Year 9s is they've been talking about careers in a local context, or local industries that are there, possibilities within those local industries. And they've also been getting people from those industries or educational institutions to come into school and expand on the content by talking about those local opportunities and the ways of thinking. So that's been really cool. All right, and my example number 3, career events. This is something we never thought of when we launched the program, that career educators would be using Ponder for their own school events. But nevertheless, that's how it's been happening. Because we have weekly videos that are short and engaging and exciting to watch, plus PDF materials, plus printed materials. So each term, there's a library pack of A3 posters. There's 10 beautiful posters that come out that are aligned with each week of the program. There's printed handbooks and also printed job spotlights that come out in those packs. So 4 times a year, there's a stack of resources that come to school, which takes things away from being digital into being tangible. The career educators have been using it as their own stand at their expos because they're completely unbiased. They're not tied into any particular educational pathway or any particular career pathway, which has also been helpful for having discussions with parents, because parents don't feel biased towards a particular university or education pathway. They don't feel biased towards a particular career pathway. The educators can be completely balanced in the information they're providing. And also having some great visuals up there means that the parents are also thinking of questions to be able to ask the educator, which has been prompting fantastic conversations at those events. All right, setting up the program. There's a lot of content on the Ponder website, which career educators love because they haven't got to create it themselves, right? But what we found is, in some recent case studies, once the educators are logged in, had a bit of a look around, get to understand what materials are there and how to use them, they found it's really, really easy. And one particular case study I did last term, the educator told me it takes around an hour to set up a whole term's worth of resources. Now, she works across 2 schools, and that's, again, an hour to do that. So if that gives you any indication of how easy it is, that should take your stress levels down a little bit. But look, let's dive into how to set that up. So each week, and this is an example of one week. So in this example, I've got week 32, Mapping Your Life, which is week 2 of module 4. You've got, this is what the educator will see on the Ponder.education website. You'll see life mapping, which is the video, and here's what the video actually looks like. And you've also got, in this example, there's 4 PDFs to be able to download and use in class. Now, some weeks have got 5, some weeks have got 6, some weeks have got 7. It all depends on the content for the week. But there's lots and lots of resources to explore already done for you. Now, what she's been doing is she said she just downloads those PDFs and puts them into her learning management system, like a Google Classroom, for instance, or Teams. That way then she can access them at school, no matter which laptop she's on. And also she's got other educators at school, either on her team, her careers team, or general subject area teachers or home group teachers. They've been able to access those resources as well to be able to deliver little lessons. Now, that was with the original design of Ponder. But after getting feedback from a number of educators where they told us they're doing form group lessons, for instance, we came up with these resource PDFs. So this is an example of the term 4, or module 4 resource PDF. So week 2 in the module is Mapping Your Life, which is one here. Now, this one PDF you can share with your education team at school, so that they don't necessarily have to get a login to the Ponder website, and they're more than welcome to if you want them to. That's no problem, there's no limits on that. But with this resource PDF, what they can do is they can access this video directly from the video link in the PDF. It's hyperlinked in there, and just play it securely in Vimeo on screen in class. Or they can pull up a 3-slide PowerPoint slide. First one is what Mapping Your Life is about, so a quick intro to it. So if they've got it in class, they can talk to the students about what we're going to be discussing. And the next slide is the video, so they can just literally play the video right there on the projector. And then the third slide is a conversation, so like a question for them to be able to ask. Now, within those slides, it's actually presenter notes so that the educator has got a whole heap of prompts to be able to further that conversation. So you could have a career education lesson in the example of, say, a Friday morning in home group or form group for anything between 5 and 10 minutes without that educator having to have a career education background. But because it's in a structured way, the information's there, they can feel empowered and be able to have that conversation where they haven't have any sort of stress. It's just point and deliver, and they can have a lot of fun. We've had feedback from science teachers who have been talking about Ponder in class, and then the students have got all excited about careers rather than talk about the actual subject content. So if that gives you any idea of how easy it is to use, that's pretty much how it will be in your school as well. So between either logging in and accessing the materials as the career educator or sharing the PDF with your education team, it's really, really easy to be able to do career education at school in a structured way. All right, so lastly, what's next? So Ponder educators, when I've had a chat with them about and shown them through the program in a one-on-one Zoom, which you're more than welcome to reach out to us and organise if you like, one of the first questions they've always asked is, what students going to see the same videos next year? How's that going to work? Firstly, students don't tend to remember everything they see, and with this content being short and sweet, it'll probably still be fresh for them next year. But to address that, what we're actually doing is we're recreating the program again for next year. So the frameworks of the structure will still be the same, the modules will still be the same, the topics will still be the same, but the videos and the PDFs will be refreshed. So this is for 2 reasons. One is so they're fresh for students, so they don't think, oh, I've seen this before, I'm not interested. So it solves that problem. But 2, there's changes to educational frameworks. So the blueprint in Australia, for instance, is being updated currently. So as soon as that's released, we'll go back and do updates into the program as well. So that is based on the current frameworks that are available out there. And the other thing that I'd like to mention for 2023 as well is Study Work Grow just recently launched our Career Clusters report, which talks about some research we've done and a new program we're launching where educators can talk with students about different career clusters. So things like guardians or informers or innovators or makers. There's 6 different career clusters, and there's going to be a quiz that's going to go along with that helps students work out which cluster they fit into, so that they can start to identify themselves in a particular way when it comes to thinking about careers, which then makes it much, much easier for them to choose across different industries. The different opportunities are out there, and so they can fit. Because what we found in talking with educators and talking with students is a lot of them go, I don't know what to do, and I might just choose one of the same 10 jobs that every other student picks, rather than thinking a bit more broadly and giving them some better context by the career cluster quiz. Say if they found out they're an informer, they might be a lawyer or a teacher, for instance. There might be a linker, which is who I am, where they might be great at doing sales or marketing or talking with people. Those types of roles, when they realise what career cluster they can be in, it's much, much easier for them to think across all the different industries and find an opportunity that they know will actually suit them. Because way too many students are choosing careers where they think they should do it, or their friends said they should do it, or their parents said they should do it, or the degree's nice and cheap, and we get these big university dropouts. And we also get people who are just disengaged with the work they're doing. And if they can choose which way they're heading earlier on in the piece, then they're more likely to have career success. Dived into that a little bit too deeply, but that's what's coming soon. So we'll be integrating career clusters throughout the program for next year as well, as we do our refresh for Term 1, Module 1 next year in 2023. So that is the quick run through. I'm sorry you're not getting to see the run through from yesterday that we did live with our career educators, but again, we've done this just for privacy, so I've done a fresh version here. We're doing more community of practice programs like this for educators. So jump onto the ponder.education website to find out more, or studyworkgrow.com.au. Check your weekly emails from us and you'll be able to find out when we're running those sessions and join in. Now, if you're actually interested in getting Ponder at school, all you need to do is inquire via the ponder.education website. Just click apply or join the program, and we'll send you through some information about the program, how much it costs, and how to get it set up at school. And again, if you'd like to reach out and have a Zoom with us, you're more than welcome to do so. So again, I'm Rob Sattler from Study Work Grow. This is the Ponder program, which we've launched this year and is growing. We're very excited to be increasing it for next year and welcoming more and more schools, and also taking it internationally, which is really exciting. So I hope you come along for the journey with us. Reach out to us if you've got any questions, and thank you again.